Yes, it actually seems to be working quite well. I'm currently testing a spot that should deliver tench, and I can already see the tench trophy coming into the chat. Obviously, the tench are running pretty well right now here at Copper Lake. And the big question is, of course, are more tench going to come in, or are we going to end up with just crucian carp and Gibel carp? And even better, could we maybe even land the Kvolsdorfsky Tench here? That would obviously be absolutely sensational. So cast out, test, and try. Lucius just sent me a message and said, hey, try around 63, 62. So right here in this area, he's been catching tench pretty well just recently. I'm guessing maybe he positioned himself right here and then cast out loosely to about 5 or 6 meters. I've moved a little further to the side here because I wanted to cast right in front of it. And so I've now set my line clip to 7 meters. And accordingly, we're landing right here on the map in this slightly deeper area. The map is pretty small here, and that means at 7 meters, we already have a decent distance. So we're already right in the slightly deeper zone. And that is really important because we still have warm weather at the moment, and it's staying that way for now. The question is, of course, will it still be like that later? How long will it stay this way? And is the spot still going to be active when the weather changes? That's something we'll obviously need to test as well. I'll test that in the coming days when we get another water temperature shift. So I'm genuinely curious to see how things develop here at this spot. Now, in terms of my setup, I'm keeping it pretty simple right now. I don't even have a ground bait at the spot yet. Completely basic. Just starting out with corn. Corn cream, or rather, I just switched one rod over to corn coconut cream. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. This is how things look right now. So I was already here during the night, not a whole lot going on back then, but now in the morning hours, things are picking up again a little. Of course, a Gibel trophy just had to show up. That's just how it goes here. But we've already had a few tench, and now, as I said, the big question is, will the Kvolsdorfsky Tench come in too? And that's exactly why I rebuilt one rod setup to coconut cream, because the Kvolsdorfsky Tench does like to bite on coconut cream every now and then, and it would be just fantastic if that works here with this fish as well. So cast back out quickly, loosely to 7 meters as mentioned, and now I'd say let's maybe also put together a ground bait mix, completely aimed at tench and aimed at cream and coconut cream. Both seem to be working here, and with the ground bait mix, we'll obviously nudge the spot a little more in the right direction, hoping to get fewer Gibel and crucian carp, more tench, or maybe even the rare tench. I'd say we'll take this fish here, and then we'll go ahead and build up the ground bait. I think he's biting now. The line went slack. Yes, he's on. Well, look at that. Gibel again. That's not what we want. He's now bitten twice on coconut cream, and on regular cream, no reaction so far. All right, let's put the mix together first. And we can of course use the ball feeder quite normally at this spot here. And I think I'll actually go ahead and do that because it obviously gives us a few more options. We'll take corn flour as our base, then we'll add some cream feed pellets, coconut cream first, and then just regular cream. So that already gives us 2 different feed pellets in there. Then we'll use corn as our hook bait. So there's also corn going into the mix. And additionally, we'll add 1 ingredient from the food items. Because we're using the ball feeder here, we can also use condensed milk. If we weren't using the ball feeder but dry ground bait instead, we couldn't use condensed milk. You just use milk powder in that case. But right now we'll go with condensed milk. And it's worth noting that condensed milk in many countries is already a cooked down, sweetened milk, meaning we have an additional sweet component in there with the condensed milk. And to finish it off, we'll add the cream once more. So that's our ground bait. We'll put this out in a moment, hoping it steers the spot nicely in the direction of tench. But obviously they're already biting without it, which is really great. So boom, straight to the next fish. Well, almost a Gibel trophy again. Good weight on that one. Definitely on coconut cream again, but also on regular cream. Gibel, gibel, gibel. We don't want any of them. Out goes the ground bait. Cast out loosely to 7 meters. 13, 14, and 15. I think 15 balls is probably enough for now. So the spot is now well fed, and let's see how the spot responds. It might take a little while for the spot to shift, for the population at the spot to change. How that works with spots and exactly what happens with populations is already explained in the video about spots. What actually is a spot? That's exactly what gets explained in that video, along with all the info we already have from Russian Fishing 4 about spots. So let's see what we pull in here shortly. Whether we can keep getting tench one after another, or whether we might eventually also land the rare Kvolsdorfsky Tench. Well, that just had to happen again. And another one. Yeah, of course.
Hicks.
Net, at least with a tag this time. Right. Cast back out quickly. Yeah, there are a few tench in the mix, but the gibel are still very much present at the spot. And I'll wait a little longer to see if anything shifts here. And if not much changes, I'll start swapping out some of the baits as well. All right, is this a tench spot or is it a gibel trophy spot? I can't tell you with complete certainty. This is how it looks right now. 30 minutes at the spot. Tench are there. Yeah, okay. But there are also a lot of gibel and gibel trophy as well. And even after applying the ground bait mix, not a whole lot has really changed here. So despite everything, the gibel are still very much here. I've already rebuilt the first setup, switching over to a size 16 pop-up cream and cream corn. And now let's just see whether the fish get bigger, whether anything shifts here. And otherwise, the next step is that I'll keep the creamy ground bait going. But I'll also continue testing other flavors, for example, black currant, but also raspberry, strawberry, so fruity flavors, or Tutti Frutti. That's exactly what I'll keep testing here at this spot, because one thing is already clear. There is a spot here, there are fish here, and that's a good start. The tench are here too, but so are the gibel. And despite everything, there's definitely something going on and it's working. The fish are here, and that right here in these warm weather conditions. So overall, definitely not a bad thing. And the good news is, the spot works even without ground bait, which means if you maybe haven't progressed that far yet, and you've perhaps invested in this tour, you could just stand here and make a few more percentage points. And with a bit of luck, a few other rare fish might come in as well. So I'm curious to see how things continue here. I'll stay here semi-AFK for a while as I edit this video, and then we'll see. Maybe something else happens, and I'll cut that in at the end. And otherwise, it was at least a pretty nice test. Thanks again for sharing. If you enjoyed this, leave a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, tight lines.